When I slam a fucking door in your face, that's me telling you I quit!
You lasted one measly little episode, you poltroon.
No, I did that fucking After Dark special last night, too. 'Cause your fucking boyfriend can't stand you neither.
He's not my boyfriend. He's not even my friend.
Neither am I.
You won't regret slamming that door in my face a second time, darling. But I can make damn well sure someone else will.
All right. Fine. We're live in 3, 2...
Good morning, Pentagram City! Thank you for tuning in once again to Kllr 66.6 FM for your news, weather, cuisine, and oldies. Later today, I'll also be treating y'all to the return of a fan-favorite segment, Turf War Analysis, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Aren't I good to you, listeners? It's no wonder you can't stay away from your magnanimous host, the darling of all hellish airwaves. Please give a round of applause to your frequency of delinquency, your heathen of the season, Alastor, the radio demon. Apologies, listeners. It seems someone reprogrammed my soundboard last night. You'll have to forgive my second-rate assistant. He's had very poor instruction and manners by his part-time overlord, a man not known for keeping his fingers to himself instead of all over other people's things. Especially my things.
You still talking about me?
Quiet, Angel. Let's start the show with what's been on everyone's minds, and in their socks, the torrential acid rain we've been having. A representative of the Doomsday District Society of Cults, Criers, and Preppers has been calling it a biblical-level event. A representative of the Has-Been Hotel would like to remind Ignacio that we're all literally dead already, and no one cares what you've been prophesizing since the 60s. It seems to me that the end of hell civilization isn't coming fast enough. That's why heaven has recently started doing it manually. I can excuse some level of skittishness, though. I'm obviously used to it by now, but I was awfully surprised myself the first time it rained in hell after my death. I suppose the daily temperatures down here are below the boiling point of alcohol, which itself is below the boiling point of water. But still, I never put two and two together until I was standing in the middle of a downpour with nothing but a borrowed woolen vest to protect my hair. But don't get the wrong idea. While the humidity rains hell upon my coiffure, I actually quite enjoy a good rainstorm. The spray lifts the delicate sense of blood and Ícor from the pavement. Such an exquisite perfume reminds me of the bloodbaths I treated Pentagram to in my early overlording years. If you've been wondering why I've not been so active lately, they say the higher you climb in Hell's hierarchy, the less mass murders you commit on a daily basis. And unfortunately, they're right about that. At some point, once you get to a certain size, it's all just administration and coordinating the underlings, and maybe accounting if you pay them. It helps me feel more connected to my wicked side to keep a relatively small circus. Not because I need help. Ha! No.
Get lonely?
Hush. I don't get lonely, my dear. That's simply preposterous. I think my problem is that, well, my heart is too big for my own good.
You serious?
I have always had a deeply empathetic need to offer sanctuary to stray cats and little red-headed orphan girls. I don't go out of my way to collect allies, of course, and I don't have to show them off like another little lost boy I rescued out of the trash. Let me tell you, listeners, the cheek I get from that one on a near daily basis, it's enough to make one want to stop giving to charity. Not that it helps, though, as they're all corrupt down here anyway. Forgive me. It seems this sort of weather causes me to reminisce, though I I can hardly be blamed for. I never imagined that anything existed in hell beyond fiery brimstone and endless torture. So to hear the sound of the rain thrumming on the roof of my radio station, even as it tries to burn a hole through it, feels like a little piece of earth escaped down through the veil of death to remind me that hell is sometimes not the absolute worst place ever. Sometimes. Nevertheless, flood warnings have expanded from the Styx Delta to encompass all of Pentagram Parish. Traffic, which would otherwise be at a standstill, is floating down the River Styx. You might say it's that. If you go out, bring your shrimp boots. I myself am no stranger to a little flooding. My wonderful New Orleans was built below sea level. She fills up same as a crabbing bucket after a fresh storm. Speaking of...
Oh? My God.
I figured, since tomorrow would be the perfect day for a crab hunt, I'd show y'all the recipe for the best seafood boil this side of Pride.
Please, radio demon, sir. I have a family.
You are so wrong for that.
I panicked. It escaped the gag.
Uh-huh.
Oh, give me a break. They come back. Eventually.
Yeah, but we don't always come back the same.
I wouldn't know. I don't overdose myself on a near weekly basis.
Bitch.
Slight change of plans, listeners. It seems our seafood boil demonstration will be the hotel patrons' gumbo tonight instead.
Bitch!
I'd move on to the news, but nothing altogether too interesting has happened since my last tele-radio show yesterday morn.
Yeah, absolutely nothing at all.
Angel, darling, I know this is against your nature, but I need you to shut your holes during this filming. Can you do that for me, Cher?
Usually I charge people to tell me what to do with my mouth, but fine.
Lovely. Now, since both my breakfast and my appetite is ruined, let's go to the phones and hear from someone hopefully less annoying than angel dust. There we go. Hello, I'm Alastor, and you've called into Kllr 66.6 FM.
Hi, hello.
Hello, dear. Where are you calling from, darling?
I'm calling in from Cannibal Town, but would like to remain anonymous for precarious reasons.
No worries, dear.
I'm a listener, and I tune in for every single one.
Aha! See, Angel? This cannibal has taste. Any questions, comments, or concerns?
Actually, I have a teeny tiny request, Al. I couldn't trouble you with saying my sweet little doe for no particular reason. Could I?
No.
I'm starting to think you and me are in the same profession.
I'm not a sex worker. The idea of me with unbuttoned shirt trying to convince some rich pervert to take me back to his place? Well, that's just too ridiculous to even consider. Another caller.
Alastor. God. I just ran from my mouth class. I'm coming. I'm coming, Alastor. That door handle better be loose. I'm gonna twist it very loosely. And I'm gonna get in there. And when I get in there, I'm going to love you, Alastor. Oh, it's gonna be me and you. It's just gonna be me and you forever.
I'm starting to wish Vox was here.
You see? You even need a pimp to protect you from caphony.
Perhaps a letter won't sexually harass me today. Let's see. Dear Vox, if Mr. Radio Dearman was a reindeer, would you write him in Santa for the whole duration of Christmas night, XOXO for Pyro?
I'm I'm just gonna press the commercial button. See you folks after the break.
I just wish that the denizens of hell would value me for my talent, and not the fact that I'm just drop-dead gorgeous.
They only say that 'cause one look at your mug, and they drop dead. Oh, fuck! The commercial ended.
Welcome back, dear listeners. I think you know what time it is. It's the segment of assessment, the investigation of reputation, Alastor's turf war analysis. For those of you who are new to hell, this city is governed by a small and rather haphazard assortment of powerful sinners colloquially termed overlords. There were once a few dozen or so of them, but, well, I'll tell you about that some other time. Usually you can find an overlord presiding over a district of Pentagram City. The violent consolidation of bordering neighborhoods or entire other districts into their governances is termed a turf war. Some overlords, however, have much more important things to be doing rather than participating in something so juvenile.
He prefers to watch.
Zip it. Though, for once my assistant is correct, I've left a small handful of overlords alive for my own entertainment. Watching them flog crucial political positioning and squabble pointlessly after an extermination, it's better than anything on that shitty fucking television, that's for sure.
That fucker threw a crab leg at me.
Now then, this little darling is Niffty.
Hi, I'm Niffty. It's nice to meet you.
Niffty was an overlord in her own rights when we met. She'll help me make my analysis.
Who are the players today, boss?
I thought we'd whet our appetite with something non-controversial. Carmilla Carmine v. Zestial.
Ooh, a lover's quarrel.
Ha! No, those two obviously aren't dating, and at this rate never will. They're hell's biggest will they, won't they?
Some would say second biggest.
Carmilla's such a nice lady, though. I wonder why she's down here.
I heard a rumor that when her children died, she knew the little shits were given a one-way ticket to hell. So she killed herself to continue coddling them for all eternity. On her first day of hell, she started picking up all the knives off the pavement so her darlings wouldn't hurt their delicate little toes. Slowly but surely, in building a safe district for her daughters, she grew the largest weapon-stealing empire in all of hell. Though don't let her motherly nature fool you. She'd sell the knife which guts your children in a heartbeat. That ruthlessness gives Carmilla the edge.
But Zestial is like... Zestial?
Zestial was long past his prime by the day I died. The only reason I kept the doddering old fleabag around is because disposing of him wouldn't have even been much of a challenge. Squashing spiders is so blasé, after all. I'd rather scoop them into a cup and let them waste away outside with some dignity. My mom always told me it was bad luck to kill a spider anyway.
Good to know.
There is one thing in Zestial's favor, though.
Carmilla prefers to stab. Like me.
Precisely! Carmilla would have to get in close to do any damage. But Zestial's long range on account of his magical abilities could perhaps give him a fighting chance. If he didn't just lay down immediately and let Carmilla step all over him.
Kinky old shit.
Indeed! Did I tell you that he flashed me the other week before the Overlord meeting?
Oh no.
I've been somewhat kidding about this, Al. But the way people are treating you, it ain't right.
Relax! He didn't mean anything by it, though it is hard to tell. He might have been threatening me.
How do you not know whether he was flirting with you or threatening you?
Vox flirts with Al by threatening him all the time.
Thank you, Niffty. What's your take on Carmilla v. Zestial anyway?
Now this disregards the angelic steel, because that's unfair and we don't like cheaters. But here's how I see it. Zestiel plays the outside, easily moving away from Carmilla's advances. If it's an up-close fight, Carmilla controls the heat until a probable decision can be made by the ref. If Zestiel maintains range and focuses on magic attacks rather than physical prowess, he wins 100% of the time. He's old, but he's practically a legend. Carmilla's a noob with too much focus on foot-to-foot combat. She should use her hands more. They're fucking huge! Zestiel wins if he stays at range, 100%, but in a realistic sense, he would still lose. The guy's been in the cuck chair so long, his skin is practically turned into the cheap vinyl. But when Carmilla finally gets over herself, they can make sweet love and repopulate hell with tons of spider ballerina babies!
Oh, I so adore your twisted little mind.
Hey, Al. Your pimp says it's time to read the sponsor names. Also that he's going to tear off Zestiel's limbs one by one, and then feed them back to him until his stomach ruptures, and he chokes to death on his own blood over and over again for infinity times infinity plus 10.
Can I do Mr. Vox's sponsor since he's not here?
Of course, darling. Here you are. Read this.
A huge roach infestation-sized thank you to LexiPop398, The Night Queen, Ash Hawthorne, Decepticon, Vim, Mystery Box Studios, and Wolfsbane for your support of the best radio show ever!
And a big heartfelt thank you to Hellish Cadaver, Alice Liddell, Reaper Knight, Alastoria, Wilted Roses, Creepy Girl NC, Indie Infestation, and Abigail Charette.
Subscribe to the Patreon and Coffee with the links in the description for extra episodes. But, to be honest, that last one was kinda shit.
I have to agree. I pray to any god listening that I'm never drunk and alone in a studio with the likes of you ever again.
Hey now, you'd probably beat me in a turf war, but don't act like you're better than me. Between my sex work and your cannibalism, we've probably eaten the exact same amount of dicks.
I've changed my mind. Please subscribe to the Patreon or Coffee so I can pay this overpriced prostitute to finally shut his mouth. Have a wonderful rest of your morning, ladies and gentlemen. This concludes our broadcast.
He's just mad because he knows I'm right.
Shut the fuck up.
Hi. So, a little mousey told me that you guys are still waiting to know what Vox got Alastor for Christmas. Well, I just so happened to find the recording of Sin 02 in the dumpster behind V Tower yesterday. Don't ask. Here's a little sneak peek. I'm gonna put it up real soon for the patrons. Keep an eye out for that. Bye.
But never mind that. Where are my manners? Here, it's your turn with the giggle smoke.
Val doesn't like me munching the devil's lettuce.
What? Why not?
Dunno. Supposedly it's incompatible with my biotech.
Oh well, that's a shame. You'll just have to huff the fumes of your cultish delusions instead.
Wait. It couldn't hurt to try it?
No.
No?
I've always had this odd sensation that your Valentino is much smarter and more sensible than he lets on.
Val isn't like my father. He's the one calling me daddy.
Ew.
Come on. I mean, how bad could I trip? Please?
Alright, fine. But only because it'd be funny if you died touching grass for the first time in your afterlife.
You know, in some genres, this is considered an indirect kiss.
Never mind, give it back.